Okay, let's begin. In one of my previous videos, AC current flow, that was number 4 in the series, I asked the question, why neutral? Why do we use the word neutral for that neutral conductor? I looked at definitions of the word neutral. You can review that video if you want to. I looked up definitions of the word neutral to see what it really means, to see if they apply to the neutral conductor. I looked up what the National Electric Code had to say about it, and I went to Code Making Panel number 5, and they described the neutral as such. I've already gone over that. Then I talked about the neutral, and I said, is it really a good term? Is it really the term we want to use? I went over all these different points here, points for discussion. I did that. And then I talked about the term median, which I like. And I said, is that really a better term? I discussed that at length. And I decided I liked the term median. So I decided to keep it. So I kept median, tried to convince people that neutral is not such a good term. All right? But to be clear, I wanted everyone to know that the median or neutral that I'm talking about is the common one that we're familiar with, the one we ordinarily hear when people talk about electricity and electricians are doing repairs and such. This is usually the one they're talking about. This is the median or neutral that originates in the secondary coil of the distribution transformer. What happens is there's this thing called mutual induction. It happens in between the coils, and that induces current. This coil induces current in this one here. And you have your 2 live wires here, and then you have your median neutral here. And that's the one we talked about, and that's the one that most people are familiar with. Okay? But a long time ago, when I was developing my very own personal system, I thought to myself, well, are there any other neutrals, or is there any other neutral or neutral-like conductor that should be considered, that should be studied? Can we find a neutral anywhere else in the electric power transfer system? That's what I call it. That's the system that takes you from the power plant all the way to your home, the whole entire system. I say yes, we can. We can find another one. And this is what I call the electric power transfer system. I'll talk about this in a future video. We'll go over that. But if you look closely, if you're looking for 2 technically different schemes, can you find them? I say yes, you can. I say here's the other neutral. All right. Here's what I call the post-transmission transformer. All right. And here is the distribution transformer that we already talked about. There's that neutral that we talked about over and over. But the transformer that comes before this one here, all right, I call it the post-transmission step station or transformer because it's a step-down transformer. It reduces the voltage, all right? This transformer will reduce the voltage from this side, and it'll be lower over here. So here you have another transformer, but inside here, other than just a simple coil, you have what's called a Y-configured coil. It's 3 coils, and it's called a Y configuration, W-Y-E. And that median or neutral, whatever you want to call it, originates, all right, originates from this configuration here. Now, for both of these neutral applications that I just mentioned, okay, we can see that the term median could be considered as acceptable. In both cases, the neutral or median originates exactly in the middle of something, all right? In the distribution transformer, all right, the neutral originates from the middle, the very middle of the secondary coil. In the post-transmission transformer, the neutral or median, whatever you want to call it, originates in the very middle of the Y-configured coils. Now let me just show you a very primitive drawing here. This is very primitive. This is the Y configuration. And here's your live coils here, all right? And there's that other mysterious neutral, or I call it medium, that's right there. And it originates right in the middle. It's a beautiful thing, actually. So, is that the end of this discussion? A lot of people are probably saying, yeah, I sure hope it is. Do we tenaciously hold to the essentially meaningless term neutral, or do we boldly move on to embrace the more logical term median? Well, who knows? Perhaps time will tell. Though, when I think about it, and I've been thinking about it for almost 32, 33 years, I wonder, could there be an even better name for that perplexing conductor? Could there be an even better name than median for the neutral originating from the post-transmission transformer, or the neutral originating in a distribution transformer? Could there be a better name? Well, I'll come back with the next video and we'll investigate, we'll take a look at it and see if there is a better name, something really, really nice and really concise. So thanks for being incredibly patient, and we hope to see you soon.